Hey, golfers, some golf seasons are wrapping up and the holiday season is right around the corner. You know what that means? You guessed it. Awkward holiday work parties. Avoid the terrible Yankee swap gifts. Bring a pack of true classic polos. Show up late so you get the last pick and you can take your own gift home just like I do every single year. You get some of the softest polos on the market. Your coworkers think you are a team player, and you can save 25% off plus free shipping using the promo code OTS Golf at trueclassictees.com. Win, win, win. Stay vigilant at those holiday work parties, my friends. Enjoy the episode.
3 shots, putt par, I just do 2. 1 putt, par 4, birdie, woohoo. New driver, info, replace, M2, par 5, fairway, what you fin do? Think I'll try to get on into, start right, good line, good view, hit Drew, shoot and make it.
Episode 106 on the Screws Podcast. This week we got Keaton Veillete. We get that? Veillette?
Yes, sir.
All right, nice.
That was good.
Canadian pro and down in Orlando right now. So we're just kind of talking about a trip, and I'm inviting myself on Brycer's trip, and we're all going to meet up and play some golf.
We got the condo. Come on down.
Yeah, we might have to make it work. Keaton, how are you? How are you doing? How's the weather down there?
Good. I'm good. Weather's even better. Can't complain. It was windy today, but past couple of days have been hot as hell.
Is it still really hot down there, or is it just?
It's starting to cool off. There's a tropical storm apparently coming the next couple of days, which will be interesting. But the past like 5 days, it's been like 35. Feels like 41 almost. I was dying.
That's like Texas heat, man. I was down in Texas earlier in the year, and it was like 35, 38 most days. Like that's hot, man. That's too hot. Even
you get the humidity in Florida though, and it makes it even worse. Texas is like that dry heat.
Yeah, just you feel it. Your shoes get softer, kind of. It's just like, yeah. But it's been warm up here too. So well, I'm in Bowmanville, so I'm not too far from where you grew up, Keaton, Toronto area, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So I was out playing. A couple of guys were in shorts and t-shirt the other day. I didn't get that deep, but. Yeah, it was like 21 degrees Celsius up here, so it was pretty good. Not bad for November. We'll take that in November for sure.
I know, it's good.
But yeah, so you're down in Orlando. What do you got going on right now? Maybe anybody who doesn't know you by chance, you can give us kind of an idea who you are. What's going on. Obviously, we'll talk some other sports, I'm sure, and talk a little hockey shop. It sounds like, but what's going on in the world of Keaton right now?
Oh, not much. Just practicing a bunch, trying to get my game back a little bit. Well, it's weird. End of the season in Canada, it's like just playing a bunch of scrambles and stuff, like fun team events, and you're wearing 14 layers, and you come down here and it's a little different. But just playing a couple tournaments, or I got one next week, a 3-dayer on the Florida Pro Tour. Just grinding the mini tours down here for now. But yeah, there's so many events down here. Like you could play an event every day if you really wanted to. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, we were saying that. Like we were talking with Zach a couple weeks ago, and Parker, who's I can't remember what Parker said he was, but like we've had a couple of guys like playing mini tour, trying to get status right now. Like that's a big thing. Like we mentioned Ziggy, like we're talking to a couple of our buddies, and everybody's just trying to get like some kind of status, for next season and get things kind of wrapped up and play. Like Zach was saying that he just is firing every single mini tour event that he can play right now. Just trying to get better, right? And that's like part of the practice is like getting the reps in, I guess. Do you feel like, are you a big practice guy, or do you like to play in those mini events if you can, like the mini tour events, if you can get into them?
Yeah, I'm a big grinder, I guess I'd say. I like my range time and short game putting, all that stuff. But I don't know. I've always said ever since I started competitive golf or turned pro, you can try to work into your practice like more of a competitive practice type, I'd say. I don't know, like you can do games, like work on certain things, but like nothing beats a tournament, or even if it's a 1 day or whatever it might be. Competitive golf's a whole different animal. So if you can play in as many as you can, then that's probably the best type of practice you can get.
Yeah, you almost can't recreate that tournament like feel, like that atmosphere.
Yeah, no matter how small or how big it is, it's all the same. Just go try to put out the lowest score you can. See what happens.
I don't know, man. Tell that to my buddy Corey. Like, we just play money games and like you add on a few extra bucks and like he's over the putt like an extra 30 seconds. So sorry, Corey, but like we gotta move these things around, these 6-hour rounds and stuff like that. But Keaton, what kind of got you into the game? Like, you're like you played a couple of sports, like we were chatting a little bit as we were getting warmed up here, like multi-sport athlete. What kind of got you into golf and any other sports that you were playing growing up?
Yeah, so I played everything growing up. I played competitive soccer. I was a goalie. I was a psychopath.
In
But
soccer.
then I played. Yeah, I was
So tough, man.
I was good too somehow. I probably could have done that too, but no, I played AAA hockey for 12 years. That's kind of what I wanted to do. And then the typical hockey player who didn't make it. I had too many concussions, so I had to quit in my midget year. But I always golfed in the summer, like not competitively growing up. But my grandparents used to live on a course in near Owen Sound, or it's called Saugeen Golf Club. It's in Port Elgin. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Yeah, I've heard of that spot. Yeah.
So they lived out there, and I kind of grew up there in the summers. So my grandpa was a pro way back when, a couple moons ago, but he's still a stick. He's 76 now, and he still shoots even to a couple over.
Wow.
Damn.
Fun to play with, but
Shooting under his
no,
age, good for him, man. That's sweet.
he's very solid. But no, he got me into the game. My mom, her dad, she grew up in the golf industry and all that stuff. So he wanted me to golf, even though I played hockey. And then once hockey was done, I just kind of kept at golf and did all those, I don't know, like junior, like academy things and with a coach and got better and then got a new coach when I was like 16, 17 and kind of improved a lot very quickly, which was cool. And then I've kind of taken my own route to pro golf. I didn't go to college or university or anything. I kind of felt like I was behind the eight ball compared to all these American kids. You know, they're golfing since they were 2, 3, 4 years old. And
Right.
have all year round golf. Unlike Canadians, we 4 months of it at most, maybe a couple more. But
hey, not right now. We're stretching this thing out right now for the courses that stayed open.
I know it's crazy, but no, I've kind of done my own thing. Started coming down here when I was 18, 19, and ended up turning pro and had a couple injuries after that. But it's been an interesting journey.
Was there any?
You got a place down there, or are you with a roommate or anything, or are you by yourself, or?
No, just me, myself, and I. Yeah, I have an apartment in Lake Nona area.
Nice.
So like I told you, it's like 7 minutes from the airport. So
Sweet.
it's not bad.
Was there anything, Keaton? Like, I just want to kind of go back. You mentioned that, as you were kind of growing up, you got better fast. Like, what age were you when things started to click? Like, was there anything really that you noticed? Like, did you start to look into like golf technology more? Did you like focus on your swing a little bit more? Like, teach it? Like, did you get hooked up with like a teacher that kind of like contributed to that, or were you just kind of focusing on the game a little bit more, taking it a bit more seriously?
Yeah, well, like right after hockey, I kind of was still in a hockey mode for golf. It was weird. Like you get on a golf course and you're built up with anger, but I yeah, I guess I got hooked up with a coach. Like my first coach, he ran like a junior or amateur whatever academy back in Toronto at Eagles Nest, Henry Brunton Golf Academy or whatever it was. But I was with him for a couple of years. He got me to a certain point. My swing was not good. It was a hockey swing. It was more of a slap shot, but I could still shoot under par somehow. I was just a creative kid, I guess, on golf, not outside of golf. No creativity really. Can't can't draw or do anything like that. But then I moved down here when I was 18 or 19 with him, and I ended up finding another coach who's still my current coach, Sean Burke. So once I went with him, I kind of skyrocketed, just like his certain philosophies. Then I started getting into golf swing, like you're saying. Then I started knowing what the heck to actually do in my golf swing and how to move and all that stuff. So that was definitely a big thing. And then yeah, I guess I got into kind of a club. I started enjoying golf clubs and
Yeah.
knowing what the hell they were doing. But
I think that's like one of the
I don't
things
know.
that's like one of the things that we've seen is like, or the trends that we've seen is like, you know, you kind of start getting more interested in like the gear or whatever it is, like learning about the gear
Yeah,
for your body. Like maybe you go get fit, and then you know you start doing things differently. Like as you get to that kind of pro status, like some of the guys are working with Decade and stuff like that, that are starting to like really break down their game a little bit more. Zach was explaining like this cool like triangular process that he does, like when he kind of like scouts all his courses and stuff, and then as you kind of like progress up those steps and then like as you would know playing like mini tour events and playing pro golf, like you're kind of just like you can't be complacent. You have to like you know that you got to go out and like shoot 64 or 65 or whatever it is to like win events and
yeah,
stuff. Somebody's always going to be, you know, like par is no longer good enough. That's what Bryce and I've heard that from like a few guys in a row now, and that's what we were thinking is like how do you get from, you know, where Brycer and I are, like, you know, to that next step to like, you know, becoming like a scratch golfer and then getting to that next step where you can actually like find that in your game to, you know, go 1, 2, 3, 4 down or something like that when you need to, you know?
yeah. No, like you said, I started using Decade a couple years ago or 2 years ago, which kind of it changes your whole mindset of what the heck you're actually doing on the golf course. It kind of takes a little bit to understand what they're telling you, but like once you get it and like it's all dispersion. Like if you know your
Yeah.
misses,
Right.
kind of know you automatically tells you where to aim, and it's all a game of percentages. Like if you miss left, whatever 70, or if your more miss is more left, then you know where to aim. If your miss is more right, you know where to aim. All that stuff, and I don't know. That kind of flipped a little bit of a switch a couple years ago. I had a good year a couple of years ago in the summer, which was nice, and then past year and a bit's been a little bit of a struggle, but that's golf, and might as well get it out
Yeah.
of the way now, and I'm still young.
Do you fully use it, or do you still use like feel shots once in a while, or do you incorporate your own stuff in like with Decade? Kind of how do you?
Yeah, I was fully using it the past, I guess, when I started using it, and then now it's kind of ingrained for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
but there's still some feel shots here and there.
Yeah.
Just I've always kind of been a feel golfer, and when I half the time when I just feel it out, it's probably the best shots, which is weird, but whatever works works, I guess.
Yeah, but you've had success with it, so I'm sure it's just kind of you're
Yeah,
sticking with it for now, right?
yeah. Once you know it and kind of understand it, it's always in the back of your head, which is
Mm-hmm.
kind of cool. So,
I feel like that too. Like I'm all about like Brycer's very much like Bryce keeps score to a T. Like he wants to know a score, like follows it. I feel like I get to a point now in my game where like I'm all about remembering like that really good shot I hit. Like I'm pretty creative on the course, I think too. It's like I'm a lefty, so we're all a little bit weird, you know, and we like to do weird stuff. I know you hang out with Mac quite a bit as well, so it's like I remember those good shots that I hit, and I think about a lot of shots that I have no business hitting. I tend to like forget those actually, which is kind of good to have that golf mindset. But like I find if you can really like sell it to yourself and really kind of commit to it and, you know, make it work, like why not try it, right? It's different when you're playing for money and stuff like that, but at this point it's like I don't know. I'm a pretty creative guy and it's a lot of fun to be able to play golf like that. Are you a field player, would you say, Keaton? Like you like you roll it pretty good? You have pretty good short game?
yeah, I've ever since I was young. I don't know if it was hockey or whatever. My short game and certain shots I can hit can be pretty cool and good.
Just like
And I've
really
always,
fast hands. Like I find that with a lot of hockey players have like pretty fast hands,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
I guess so. That makes sense,
Yeah.
maybe.
I don't
But
know,
no,
Bryce.
yeah,
I don't know, Bryce. We got to get this working for you. We got to figure this out.
It's not my
yeah,
chipping's not too bad. It's my putting, man. My putting's the only bad thing. I can chip all right.
see, hockey guys usually aren't very good at putting. I don't know why.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
most
I
lefties
agree.
though, like there's something about lefties and like obviously like thinking about like Phil Mickelson and stuff like that, but most lefties can roll it pretty good, I think. I don't know if it's just like the way most courses are laid out or something, but I run into like a lot of lefties and I feel like we've got I don't know, a little bit more creativity on the course, and like maybe we just like see it a little bit differently, but we're also kind of seeing it from a different shape. I also had a draw too, so for most people, like hitting a fade for the most part, like I hit like a draw, like pretty much like a, well, when it's not going well, I'm hitting like a 20-yard sling or like an emergency pull too. So I find myself over there with the righty, so I kind of see the course from a really different perspective, I guess. But I don't know. Feel is like the short game is what saves me. Like I was telling Bryce, I chipped in a couple times the other day. Like, you know, I can roll it really good. Like typically, like for my handicap, my level, like I roll it pretty good. But it's hard, man. Like you see the guys that are just like able to, like Bryce hitting it from like 240 out, finding a green every time. I can't get there. I just catch up on the greens,
Yeah,
man.
no.
That's life.
Yeah, but you
Short
take the
game.
extra shot in the fairway and meet me right in the same score because I 3-putt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Short game will definitely save your butt a lot if you're not hitting it well, especially down here. Like it's pretty much target golf down here in
I
Florida.
love
Like,
playing down there. I've played 3 of the 4 Disney courses just because we're right there, and we always go play them. And it's
yeah,
just you hit a ball at a target, and if it's not plugging, it's gonna sit there, bounce, and roll back like 4 feet, and pretty much just sit there. Like the greens are so like
yeah,
spongy and soft, in my opinion.
Are you
yeah.
on?
It's a swamp down.
Are,
Ball doesn't really move at all.
are,
So like off the tee, most courses down here are pretty challenging. You got either water left or right, or you got houses and OB
Mm.
right there, like 10 yards off the fairway. But if you can get in the fairway it's not that long down here. Like many courses aren't that long. So if you can just get in the fairway and start taking aim with your irons and wedges, and as long as you don't 3-putt like yourself every hole, then you're fine.
Yeah. Have you ever played the Palm course at Disney or no?
I've never actually played any Disney
Oh,
courses.
I went. It was par 5. Went driver 8-iron, and it hit like right in front of the cup, hit the stick, and sat an inch from the hole for an albatross. I was pissed.
still miss the
I
putt,
almost
eh?
missed
Just a little
that one, but
backstory. No, I eagled it. You mean
Keaton, are you
I
hooked up at
almost
are you hooked up at a course right now at all?
down here.
Yeah.
I'm in Lake Nona, so Lake Nona is across the street from me, which is a extremely nice private
Mhm.
course. Which I'm thankful that I know enough people out there that I can kind of go out whenever I want. There's a bunch of
Nice.
Canadian older members down there, so I can get out there a lot. But I live right beside a course called Eagle Creek. It's a good public course, long. It's pretty easy. Like it's probably one of the most forgiving courses off the tee in Florida, which is interesting, but it's fun to play. I was there today. I was just practicing, and then I have a little bit of a deal at a course down the street called St. Cloud, which is actually a good course. There's three different nines, and green's really good, but I don't know. There's so many courses I can kind of just bounce
There's
around down here.
so
I don't,
many.
Yeah. It's always nice when
unlike
there's a
draw.
few different nines and stuff too to get accustomed with. But
Yeah.
we're just gonna jump into a quick break. Obviously with our friends over at BetStamp, we got the Cadence Bank Houston Open this week, so Bryce and I are gonna fire off a couple picks. Bryce is up this week; he's gonna kind of lead the charge, and then we'll be right back. Cadence Bank Houston Open this week. Not the deepest field out there, but a couple pretty good players in it. Start us off, Bryce. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's early in the season. Those guys are still kind of taking their break. But Sam Burns right now in this field, I love it for outright winner. Um, I saw him at plus 1,200 on points bet, but then kind of used BetStamp and got him up to plus 1,400 on BetMGM. So that's a pretty good line for him in this field. I think Scotty's going to come to play, but
Yeah.
I like Sam Burns this week. So
Yeah, Scotty had a big week last week too. He had a 62 on Sunday,
yep.
61 or 62 on Sunday. So
62.
I went with him, even though it's only plus 700. They were floating around 550 at most places. Found him BetMGM for plus 700, which I don't know that we're going to see another tournament with an outright winner that low. So plus 700 at BetMGM, but I'm still putting my money on Scotty. I'll go into the next one if you don't mind, Bryce. I got two top tens. Russ Henley coming off the win last week. When Russ starts rolling the putter well, he's like one of the best putters on tour, right? So
he's a good putter. Yeah.
I kind of followed that putter trend because Scotty put a new one in the bag last week. Rolled it really well. found Russ Henley as high as 325 at Betway. So there's good value there because like at PointsBet and a couple other ones, he was down at 225. So found some good value there using BetStamp. So thank you guys. Good line. Who you got?
Yeah, I got two top tens this week. I'll start with the first one. I got Jason Day. Kind of a spotty golfer, but
Yeah,
he still has it, I think. I mean,
of
he still
course.
can play, and this field, I like him in this field. I think he's a higher end player in this field, and I had Sam Burns top best line at BetMGM, so I checked there first and had him at 220 there, and kind of shopped around and found him on PointsBet for plus 250. So I'll take the couple extra points there.
Yeah, that's nice. Putter trend with me, going back to Mac Hughes, Canadian, one of the best putters on tour. So I think having three of the best putters in the field, I know Scotty Scheffler, like when he gets rolling, it obviously is four minus the four putt to close out Augusta. But nerves aside, we got Mac Hughes finishing a top 10 as well. I went with another top 10. This one like fluctuated quite a bit. BetMGM, who usually has a good line, picked it up on BetStamp. Plus 450, found it at Betway for plus 700. So that's like
A good line.
really nice line there for Mac Hughes to finish top 10 in this field. He's got a win at the Sanderson Farms this year already. So I think he's right there. If he's rolling it well, he's going to be there on the weekend for sure.
Yeah, my last top 10 is one of the best personalities on the PGA in my opinion, my personal opinion. Joel Damon. He can play, man. He's a good player. Doesn't hit it very far, but I mean, he's good. BetMGM had him at 350. PointsBet had him at 380, but FanDuel got him up to 410. So
nice. Okay.
I took him there for top 10 for plus 410. So, yeah, I don't think it's out of the question for him. I think he can get in there to the top 10 and have a week for himself. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think like nobody'd be surprised if we had 1-2 with Scotty and Burns, but you know, anything like anybody can win on the PGA Tour any week.
For sure.
And you know, the top three, like trying to pick a top, like if you're going to try and pick a top three and kind of go with the trifecta, it's impossible this week. Like it's just
anyone can find that top 10 this week. I think it's just an open invitation right now. Whoever wants to take it can take it.
Yeah, but thanks guys for checking out our bogey bets. Brought to you by BetStamp, presented to you by BetStamp. Head over, download BetStamp app, and use the code OTS Golf. They're going to refund all your minimum deposits, so you can play for free, kind of get used to all the different sites, and then shop all the best lines. All right, we made it through 9, and this glizzy is brought to you by our friends over at Manscaped, manscaped.com. You can go over, check out the Ultra Premium Collection, or anything that you need to not suffer through the back 9 here. Using the promo code OTS Golf, you will get 20% off plus free shipping, and maybe you'll go low on the back. Thank you for supporting the episode. Thank you for supporting the pod. Manscaped.com, 20% off using the promo code OTS Golf. Free shipping right to your door. Enjoy the pod. I kind of, like I said earlier, I've kind of done it my own way. So I turned pro when I was 19, 20. But I ended up having shoulder surgery the year I turned pro. So that kind of...
Oh, yeah. I've been there.
Made things a little different, but it honestly made me better and came back stronger than ever. But I guess I played on the Canadian tour, not last summer, the summer before that. It was kind of during the COVID stuff. So I played all the events. The first one was in Montreal, which was cool. That was my first Canadian tour event. But yeah, it was a cool experience. Run well. I ended up making the cut. So that was nice. But playing on tour for that year was kind of cool. You learn how to travel. You learn how to manage yourself, manage time, do all that stuff, like especially during COVID. That was interesting to deal with, trying to fly everywhere. That'd be so tough. Well, that's kind of like when Bryce and I got the pod started. Like we had, I guess, like earlier in the year, the winter, like right around Christmas before that season. So like when it came up here, like I carried for Ziggy. That's how I met Ziggy up there, but like I carried for Jake McNulty. I don't know if you know Jake, but like, and I kind of met like a few of the guys when I was out there, and it was sort of cool. Like, you know, Lucas has been on the pod before. Lucas out at Bear Mountain. I don't know if you know him. Callum Davison. Like a few guys have been on the pod. Michael Blair, and like the whole thing was like, every time we talk to somebody, it's always like travel comes up and like how hard that season was. And like, Callum and Lucas both drove. They had like retrofit, like Sprinter type vans, stuff like that. Like I know Ziggy had a, like Trevor, him and Trevor travel together. So like kind of pair up. Michael was with like 6 guys and they would go somewhere and get like an Airbnb. Like, how did you navigate? Like, what was your setup like for that season?
I did not drive. Those guys were psychopaths.
Yeah, be
I know
so
it come.
tough, man.
Well, usually, like in years past, it's been easy to drive. Well, not easy, but like easier because they would start out east, or I guess out west. They'd start in like BC or whatever.
And you just follow the tour home, kind of.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
follow it up east, and you're like, okay, it's reasonable. But whatever, 2 years ago, we started in Montreal, and then we went to Toronto, TPC Osprey. Then we went 2 weeks in PI, which was interesting. That was like island fever. You're stuck on an island for 2 weeks. It was cool. I've never been a PI until then, so that was interesting. Great seafood, by the way. I
Very good.
recommend.
Yeah, I've been
And
down there, like toured around, and I don't think I've said it on the pod before, but I can confidently say the Lobster Barn in Victoria, PI has the best lobster roll in Canada. So not been to
so good. I
Newfoundland,
think,
so on the mainland, I guess.
yeah, I think we went there too. I saw it on a Google review and had to make my way over there.
So
But
good, man. It was like just like you get across the bridge, like the Confederation Bridge. It's like down to the right,
yeah,
like 20 minutes or something. But yeah, it was really really damn good. So anyway, sorry, I really like lobster a lot, man.
same. Where did we go after PI? I think then we went out east or out west. Then we went to Saskatchewan, middle of nowhere. Actually, I had to drive Michael Blair to the hotel from the airport because he didn't have a ride, and I was one of the only people with a rental car, which was cool.
Was
Um,
that Elk Ridge? Is that Elk Ridge, that one?
that place is cool, but it's like literally 3 hours from civilization.
Yeah.
It was like nails too, wasn't it? Like super tough the course. Like a couple of guys were saying it was like
Yeah,
15-yard fairways and stuff, like super tight.
it's tighter than most things.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you miss it. I don't. I actually I made a bet with one of the guy's parents that I wouldn't hit driver at all week, and I said I'd make the cut. I didn't hit one driver, made the cut.
No.
Nice.
It was interesting. I think I hit 4 iron off the tee every hole and a couple 2 irons. But yeah, if you miss on that course, you are in some
Screwed.
trees and hanging out with lots of mosquitoes. So that course, it was good, but it was tough. And then we went to Edmonton and Calgary. Those were, or sorry, not Edmonton, Calgary. Calgary, that course is unreal.
What
Country
course is that?
Hills.
Oh.
Country Hills. Play some nails.
Yeah.
So good. And then we went out to BC, where all the boys finally made it back home.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like everybody was kind of from this area here, like where you're from or where we're from, Keaton, or like pretty much everybody's out west. So like
Yeah.
most of the guys we talk to, there's not many people from down east, and there's not many people out west until you get all the way out to BC, and it's kind of like, a lot of guys kind of stay out there. Like I know Ziggy, Trevor, Lucas, they all kind of stay out there. Callum, they can play quite a bit, and then
Yeah, you can almost play all year round. Not all year round, but they have events that
Close.
run into the winter.
except for when Mac flies out there,
Yeah.
and gets like just dusted with a hailstorm out of nowhere. It was like, I don't know, 20 degrees almost when I was out there, and then I was out playing with Lucas and PJ and another buddy of theirs, and we just got hit with like a hailstorm on Bear Mountain. It sucked. It was like
14 holes in your 4-day golf trip.
I know, it was terrible, man. It was awful, but great spot though. If you're ever out there, like going to check out Bear
Bear
Mountain,
Mountain's awesome.
such a nice
Yeah.
spot. I really enjoyed it, and obviously Lucas is out there now, and he does. He's a really really good player. He played that same season with you, so I don't know if you guys had met, but yeah,
Yeah.
he lives like him and his girlfriend fiance. They live in a that Sprinter van, like that's their home, and they kind of traveled around. And he was telling me too, I think they had Latin Q at like a weird time that year, or might have been Corn Ferry that he went down for or something. So like in between one of the events, like going down to like Georgia or something like that, and then coming back up. So they put like 50K on that year. They said it was quite a bit, but
Yeah, I was talking to him about that one event. living in his van life and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I like it. It's cool. It's different. He's a good guy. I enjoyed
Well,
talking. I think we played once.
he's from this area too. Like he's from Markham. I think he said he's from Markham. So it was kind of cool to like they put it together and then they ended up traveling out for there was like an event out there and then he ended up staying like at Bear Mountain. He's kind of hooked up there. I think he's the assistant pro now, teaching pro. So when I went out, we played a little bit. It was fun. Like it was a lot, like really nice course too. Like hard to beat those views, man. Really hard to beat the views.
Both of those courses are really good. Anything out in BC, like can't beat it. All my family lives out in Alberta and Calgary, or just outside of Calgary. So
Yeah,
I'm out there a lot, but playing out there is awesome. Kelowna was probably my favorite spot to play.
You ever play Silvertip?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had a lacrosse tournament when I was really young in Alberta, and all the dads went and played Silvertip, and I mean we were young, but I'm jealous now looking back.
There's so many spots like Sagebrush looks like it's on some people's like some people have it as their like top course in Canada, right? So I think it's like a top.
That's a new one.
Yeah, it's like
a new one.
Yeah, I think it's number 7 on the ranking or something, but it's sweet looking, man.
Yeah,
nothing beats Wildfire. I don't care what anyone says.
Yes,
nothing
it does.
will beat Wildfire for me.
You gotta just go look up Sagebrush and then you'll say, okay, that one beats Wildfire. It's pretty cool, man. It looks like
memories at Wildfire.
It looks like it's like a 2,000-year-old course, man. It's super cool. Everything's like kind of I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's definitely one to check out. Keaton, I wanted to ask you. You're into fashion a little bit, right?
Yeah, I would say.
I've noticed a couple things. Like I think we've been following your account for a couple of years now or so, and like I noticed that you post a couple things here and there. So I wanted to kind of ask you. We got why this came up is we had a couple of guys from Goat Track Social Club on last week. So they have they're like the Canadian kind of Malbon guys. I would say like they're really into like that kind of feel, and they got like a higher end like clothing style and whatnot. And we got talking about like how things have changed so much in the game and like was there a pinpoint time for them that they kind of got into really focusing on like their style, their apparel and whatnot, and they have a pretty cool story. And Brycer and I kind of agreed. We both thought it was like around that time Terrell Hatton was like wearing a hoodie at the BMW championship, like if you remember that. And like is it something that you keep separate from yourself on the course, or do you like to kind of mix it in a little bit if you can?
No, yeah, I don't know. I've always enjoyed fashion and kind of not standing out, but kind of being different. I get lucky enough to been hooked up with, there's a golf company, all the people that help me out with clothes, Full Wedge, it's called. They're out of Toronto. It's a Toronto company.
Yeah, Vim's with them too.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got some nice stuff. They got a bunch of stuff out at the Port Hope shop, like where I play, and they got nice gear, man. Really nice gear.
Yeah, they do.
They've been helping me out for the past couple of years, which is great. I love their stuff. It's different for sure, but they've made some more normal designs now, which is kind of cool. But there's a couple shirts, like some watermelon shirts, some pineapple shirts, which are nice. But yeah, I don't know. I've always been into fashion. I love shoes. I'm a big shoe guy. But I've always tried to bring that onto the course. So I got all the Jordan golf shoes and all that stuff. But I don't know. I've always kind of done my own thing on the course with clothes and stuff, and it's usually very classic and all that stuff. And like in the past, golf, like older, more
stuffy,
traditional.
classic shit.
Traditional. That's a better way of putting it. Traditional is a very I don't know. That's a very nice way of putting it. But yeah, it's a pretty stuffy sport. I can say that. I can admit that. I definitely yeah, like I like to kind of mix it up a little bit. Like even off the course, like like I've got a few like designer pieces that I like to wear. I don't know. I know Bryce is kind of maybe he's in like hunting country now, but I know when we were talking like some merch and stuff, Bryce, you got some good ideas and stuff. So that's what made me think like today, I got a pair of like Reed Blake shoes and like Karl Lagerfeld sweater and stuff that I was like wearing today with like mango pants, and like all that stuff could be worn on the course too, right? It's just like you know, a lot of those brands aren't kind of in it. I know like Hugo Boss is into golf and stuff like that, and you know, like Polo Ralph Lauren and stuff. But it's kind of cool to see a lot of courses like, you know, or a lot of companies trying to, you know, find their way in the golf space now, and it's a little bit more accepted. It's not just like a Polo.
Well, even Snowman, they're kind of getting into that funky little. We had them on a few months ago, and they're kind of in that same space of the out there shirt. But I mean, people like them. I love them. I wear mine all the time. I think I love standing out, even though I'm not the greatest golfer.
Yeah.
It's how I've grown up, how I've been. So
Yeah, it makes you different. Makes you
yeah, look
somebody.
good, feel good, play good.
Yeah, exactly.
Oldest
Yeah,
saying
that's
in sports.
Is there
a good
any
motto.
is there any brand, Keaton, that that you like to wear that's like I wear like Jordans and stuff too. Like I remember they came out with the release like I think the 12s or something a little while ago with the gold piece, and I grabbed those like right away. And like
I
is
have
there
those.
yeah, they're sweet, man. They're sweet. And I've already like kind of I don't know,
Yours are beat up.
I probably put 40 rounds on
They,
those, 40, 50 rounds.
oh God,
I bet you.
I
I bet you Keaton still look brand new. I guarantee you.
Man, I lotion those things up. They got the spray on them. It's just like I put a lot of rounds on them, man. I'm not afraid to wear them. I'm definitely not afraid to.
mine look like they've never been worn. I pick and
Yeah,
choose my day. I
I
don't
could.
wear them down here because it's too wet. Like if I'm in Arizona, I'll wear them because it's dry and never rains. But here, you take one swing and they're filthy. I
Yeah.
can't have that. I can't have that.
Yeah, mine need a good wash. They need a good cleaning or something. But if there was any brand that you could work with that's like a non-golf brand or that you could collab with at some point, like in the fashion world, is there anyone that sticks out to you that you'd like to bring into the golf space?
Wait,
I
other than companies that are already in the golf space, is that your
Yeah,
question?
like
Okay.
yeah, if there was you know, like any designer kind of like fashion brand that you could kind of hook up with. I know you're wearing a Wave golf hat right now, so our friend over there, Mark, is part of the owner, so they're doing big things over there. So congratulations, Mark and Josh. But if there was any like designer brand that you thought that, you know, you like to wear off the course that you'd really like to bring it into the golf space, is there one that sticks out for you that you'd like to bring along?
don't know. I used to be a big off-white guy, and I have a bunch of off-white shirts, but now I'm growing up more, so I don't really put those on that much. But
Mhm.
they've been in kind of the golf space. There's well, like Brooks Koepka wore their
Yeah.
shoes and stuff and all that.
Right.
But I don't know. There's Gucci, no. Louis Vuitton, no. Supreme would be cool as a golf brand. It's more of a
Yeah.
skater brand. Bring
You'd get
that
a
into
lot of words for wearing that on the golf course, I feel like, from other people.
Well,
I would agree. Yeah.
it all depends too, like what space you're in, right? And like I
Yeah,
guess
oh, yeah, for
the
sure.
groups that
Yeah.
you're playing with, and like kind of just recognizing like you're not gonna just probably join a random group at a club
Mm.
that's like 300 years old, and like we
Yeah.
I don't know, we've had this discussion so many times, right? And like if you want to wear that, like if you want to wear, you know, something that kind of shows your personality, like if you're the guy who has a problem with that, I think you're like they're more or less like the problem now, right? Or they're like not the problem, but they're more of like the minority now, right? So it's like we're kind of entering a space where people are allowed to like, you know, kind of I guess wear a bit more fashion or kind of like wear the type of person that they are and kind of show their I don't know exactly the best way to put it, but they're trying to, you know, if you want to kind of show the person that you are on the course and a little bit of, I don't know, help me out with the word here, Bryce. I'm struggling through this one.
I don't know. You're just trying to say, like, let people wear what they want to wear. And if you're
Yeah.
going to give them shit for it, then you're the issue for not accepting what they're wearing.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
think it's just
let
like,
people do their thing. And if, as long as they look somewhat presentable, I mean, just turn your head
Yeah.
and walk away and let them do their thing.
you play
That's
As long
better
as you
too.
don't look like as long as
as
you don't
long as
look
it,
like
yeah, as long as it's somewhat presentable, and just like it's okay, whatever. But on the other
yeah.
hand, give me a Nike Jordan apparel line. I'm good for life. I don't
Oh
care.
yeah,
That's
for
all I need.
sure. Right. Like
That's all I need.
it's hard to beat like the Nike line. Like I think almost anybody would say like if they could work with one brand, it'd probably be Nike. Like if
Nike,
anybody's like
no
into
problem.
fashion,
Yeah,
but
I would I'd agree with that. Well,
Wouldn't
like
even think twice.
for a designer brand, well, I don't know if they're designer, but like Nocta came out with stuff like Drake,
Mhm.
OVO. Like
Yeah, I'm not big in the whole designer stuff, so my knowledge isn't great. But
Well,
Yeah.
I have these
My
like pair.
buddies,
Sorry, go ahead, man.
I was gonna say I'm buddies with a bunch of Drake's good friends, so they all wear their Nocta stuff.
Yeah.
And if I could get OVO, I'm trying to get the OVO boys to make a
There you
golf
go.
line. So trying to, they all love golf now. I was playing with them last week in Miami, and we were talking about it. I'm like, well, we'll make a golf shirt. We'll see what it does. So that'd be
I
kind of
mean, it
dope.
would blow up.
Oh,
I
for
don't
sure.
think there's any question to think if it would or wouldn't. I just,
It's kind of cool though. Everybody's got like different feel. I remember I did a little knockoff, a little rip off of like the Drew House like logo and stuff like that. I just sent it to Bryce like as a joke. Like I was just like kind of designing it, and he was like, "Oh my god, that's terrible" or whatever. I literally sent it to Bryce's younger brother, and he's like, "I'll buy one."
yeah,
Yeah,
because
Yeah.
I'm not into that designer stuff, dude.
yeah.
Blaker knows all about it.
But I have these like the reason why, because I know like everybody's like wearing Primo pants and stuff like that. Like I know you're kind of set up with Primo, so is Zach and Mac and
I'm a big
like
fan of those.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've got this pair like I think they're called like Mango or something like that. So they're essentially like the same thing. I wear them to work. I can leave, go to the golf course, and like I can kind of show my personality. I think that was a word I was looking for, right? So like, and
Hmm.
I just feel like I play a little bit better too. Like I'm not a pro golfer. I'm not like set up with Titleist or Callaway or something like that where I have to like wear anything brand specific. Not yet, but if you're listening, like. We'll
Feel
sell,
free.
we'll sell out, man. We'll sell out. Maybe we'll get the Nike line or something one day. But like,
Give me Lulu ABCs and a Lulu.
Oh,
exactly.
That's
Like
good. I'm
that's where I
good.
was gonna go next. Is like
I'm good.
I got a couple pair of Lulu joggers, and it's just like they look good,
all right.
they fit really well, and I could play when Bryce and I play 36 holes. You don't have any problems with it, right? So it's just kind of one of those things that I noticed like when I follow a couple of the like I would say you're kind of like a content creator as well, Keaton. Like you do a really good job with that. So trying to kind of check it
Yeah.
out. No, you don't think so?
I don't know. I just I'm definitely not like Mac. Mac's on a whole different level. That guy's nuts. Love him to death, but he's a different cat.
It's a lot of
But I
work,
don't know. I've
man.
always yeah, oh yeah. I'm like this is crazy trying to post
Yep.
videos twice a
But I
day,
feel like
once a
though that's what makes your channel like a channel like that good is like when you don't think you're trying to like overdo it, you just do it because you enjoy it. I feel like that's what makes the channels like good and enjoyable to watch. So like I feel like that's kind of the bubble you're in right now, which is I think awesome.
yeah, I've always enjoyed taking pictures and videos and now that I'm a golfer that why not
Yeah.
show
All
what I
right.
do and show the journey.
All right. Into the gear. I think it's time. I
Well, hold on. Like one of
need
the
my
one of
help
the
again.
things I just wanted to talk about content creation a little bit, Brycer, and then we'll get into the
Yeah. Go
gear.
ahead.
But
All right.
so we've had Mac on the pod, and he was actually going to be on a few weeks ago, right before he went to Spain, I think, when he went out there. So he got a bit jammed up with one of his flights. So we'll recap. We'll get him at some point when he's in some random spot around the world. But that's obviously something. When Mac was first on the podcast, he had a couple thousand like followers, and
I
he was
think he had
actually
like 6,000 or something,
yeah, he
like
was
real
actually like
low.
pretty nervous, and like he was we were talking about like we were watching a Leaf game in the background and stuff, and or just about to watch a Leaf game, and he was saying like it's kind of cool, but it's like weird that people like people like shit on you for no reason. It doesn't really make any sense, right? And
Oh
like
yeah.
that's one of those things where I don't understand like how he you get to that point where it's probably just like you get pretty thick skin, I guess, right? So but obviously you're focusing on like playing the game as well, and like he's very transparent where like he says he's washed up, and he's definitely not washed up. He's still a very good golfer, but he kind of puts himself out there, and I think that that's also a good thing for we've talked about it with like a lot of pro golfers, and like you kind of have to do that now to get recognized. Like you can get
Yeah.
sponsorships and stuff that way. You can kind of work yourself into kind of some awareness for some brands and whatnot too. So I think it is an important part of the game. It's almost like a resume. Instagram, TikTok are like a resume almost, right? So
Hmm.
100%. That's what I learned too. I was like, yeah, brands will reach out to you, even though I don't have that many followers or barely any. But I don't know. It's a different world. Social media nowadays, you can make a lot of money on social media.
You make a
It's a,
living on it now.
yeah.
yeah, exactly. You see all these influencer girls making whatever they're making, just posting swing videos and posting
Hmm.
whatever. Like I don't know. I just do it more for my enjoyment and show people what I'm doing. And if they care, they care. If they don't, then who cares?
Well, it's also good
I think-
too, like for you to
I
look
think it's a
back
great
on.
way to think of it.
Yeah, like, and it's a good way for you to like look back on, like, you know, if you want to go back and like check out your swing, or if somebody wants to like maybe contact you to like, I don't know if you do any teaching or anything like that, it's a way to like showcase yourself as well. So, but go ahead,
Yeah,
Bryce.
exactly.
We can let's do some gear.
Yeah, so we haven't really had any like huge gearheads on the pod, and I kind of think you kind of hinted towards it earlier. I assume you know what you're playing.
Yeah, a little bit. I just got
We did,
new clubs, so yeah,
yeah. So
I know
I
that.
just like I love gear. I always have in every sport, no matter what, and I just like to kind of go through the bag with a lot of the players. If you want to do that for us.
Yeah, so I just got the new SM9s. I've had SM7s for the past couple of years, so they were outdated. So Titleist sent me the new SM9s. I got S400 uh, dynamic gold tour issue in my 58 and 54, and then 50s and X100 shaft, and then 46. I don't play a normal pitching wedge. I use the Vokey pitching wedge. So
Yeah.
that one's the X100 too. And then I got new irons too. I use the Titleist, the MBs, the blades, the 620s, I believe they're
Cleanest
called.
iron in golf, in my opinion.
Just butter knives, absolute butter knives.
Those and the Callaway blades are the two cleanest irons in golf, in my opinion.
I would agree. The Tiger ones are pretty good too, but
The Tiger ones are good, yeah.
You don't like the blueprints?
I like them. You just can't beat that Titleist.
Yeah, it's
Titleist
hard to beat the
ones. They're
Titleist
just
look.
so like I don't know. So
unless
classic.
unless you go to like a Miura or something, or like the
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce that one, KYOEI.
I don't know.
They're so nice, man.
there's so many custom club brands now, like random ones that pop up. Oh, wow.
Well, those are like the two, like probably the two best Japanese ones. Like you can't like beat a set of Miuras. They're
No, yeah,
like,
no, I
so
agree.
good, man.
I'm
so
just
good.
talking about affordable.
Yeah, but
irons,
like
you know?
those Titleist ones are sweet. Like, yeah, they're nice to look at. I think Justin
But
Thomas still
anyways,
games.
X100s in those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
X100s.
I had my old ones were the KBS X130s, but apparently they Titleist won't sell KBS anymore because they're what do they call it? Their like quality control was terrible last year and
Oh,
this year.
really?
So I switched over to X100s, which I used to use when I was younger, but haven't used them. But they've been working out okay. My irons have been pretty good. And then woods, I use TaylorMade woods.
Mm-hmm.
I play Titleist irons, and I'm a Titleist player, but I use TaylorMade woods. I have a Sim 3 wood, the first one, which that thing's a rocket.
Mm-hmm.
What shafts in that? A Ventus X or Ventus TX 80 gram in my 3 wood,
Blue.
and then black.
Black, yeah. It's black.
Thing's a weapon.
Yeah.
And I have the new Stealth with a speeder shaft in it, TX 70 gram, I believe. I have a bunch of shafts that I swap in and out, but one's in it right now. And then I am using a hybrid right now that my buddy gave me. That's been working great. The old Ping hybrid with God knows what shafts in it, but it goes far. It goes. I can cut it. I can draw it. I can do.
I'll put so much money on it. It's a G400.
Yeah.
What the yeah?
head?
It is a G400.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but I have a Titleist 7 wood that I can swap in and out with that, and I also have a 1 iron that I can swap in and out with that.
Nice.
Ooh.
I haven't
What's
used
the
the
1
iron.
iron? What is it?
It's the Titleist
U500.
Kind of, yeah, the U500.
What is it? A
thing
2
with-
iron just cranked way down, or is it like an actual 1 iron?
It's a 1.
That's sweet. That's awesome.
That thing's so cool.
I gotta see what it is.
Bryce, that's a pretty similar bag to Paul Park.
It is a
very
similar
similar bag, like from
Yeah.
top to
I
bottom.
bet this thing's like 14 degrees or 13 degrees. No, 14 or 15 degrees.
Ooh.
What is it? How many degrees? 15, 14? I don't know, or does it not say?
It doesn't say. I think it's
Oh,
15 or
that
14 and
thing's
a half.
sweet though.
Yeah.
Mac, you
Yeah.
had one of those for a bit.
Yeah, I had the 3-iron though.
Yeah.
18 degrees. So wait, maybe I had a 2-iron. U500. I don't anymore. I have the I play Strixon and I have the Strixon 3-iron that I cannot get rid of. The ZU65. Like that thing just
Yeah, you
finds its
love
way
those.
back. So it's hard, man.
Those
I hit
things are
that thing
so good.
well. I hit it from 260 out to 8 feet the other day. So found its way in the bag for next season as well. So it's
It's locked. It's qualified. Eh,
yeah, it's like hard ground, like wind behind me, and it found its way close to the hole, so it's fine.
sponsor
Yeah,
exemption.
yeah, exactly.
Um,
Sponsor exemption. What are you rolling right now, Keith?
Yeah, what putter?
I'm rolling a, what is it? The Odyssey 5, I think, something like I don't know, it's like a oval kind of shape. And
Like
then
the half moon.
yeah, and then I put a stability shaft in it.
He's like, this
Nice.
one
How
takes
is
two.
that? I don't know. I've seen people use them. I've never like felt one though.
They're good. And then I have two putters that I kind of flip flop with. I have a Toulon, the Toronto edition one. It's got the CN Tower on the bottom. It's kind of dope.
That's sweet. Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah. I
This one's
put a
pretty cool.
stability shaft too.
This one's the
So
Atlanta.
Toulons are good, man. They feel
Yeah.
nice. Odyssey Toulon, same shit.
It's like a very underrated putter. It definitely is. Like I've been playing a Del Mar, like I got a refinish and stuff. Looks really cool. Bryce is starting to kind of patina out. I saw it the other day. I pulled it out of the bag.
Is it?
Yeah,
Nice.
it looks so good. But like that putter's sweet, man. Like I got a Golo. I got a bunch of putters now, and I think that one might find its way in the bag. Like it rolls
Yeah.
pretty pure. It's
I'm
hard to
still
beat.
waiting for my
Whatever.
Scotty to come in.
What one did you get?
I
A new
ordered
one?
I ordered the 5.5, but like they're like Golf Town doesn't like all my groomsmen put together and bought like me a gift card to go grab it, and it's like I only want that putter, and it's like impossible to get in.
Huh.
So
I wanted to get that new all black one they made, or I guess
I
it was
know
like limited.
I looked at that, but those are even harder to get. Like you just can't get your hands on them.
I
You can
know.
get them like
I think my
aftermarket for
coach-
like $2,000 right now. Like they pop up and they're like, yeah, 1800.
And they're gone in a
Yeah,
second. Yeah.
yeah, they don't last right now. I can't remember what it's called.
I think
Midnight,
my
like the midnight version or something.
Yeah, I think my coach ordered one from Titleist, but he's gonna cut it down and give it to his son
Yeah.
that's on the way. I'm like, what? That's a nice gift for your unborn
Yeah.
son.
That is really nice, man. I think like I'll pass my Del Mar. I had it done like so. It was like the 2011 or 12. I can't remember what year, and it was like the honey dip version. And I had two, so I actually I took my backup and I got it sent it down to a buddy of ours who does he's been on the pod before. He does like custom restorations, and he did like an actual copper. I don't know exactly, like drops it in a bucket
like
with
anodized.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it becomes like an actual copper unit, and so it's one of a kind putter, and I roll it well. Like I love the putter, and I gave away my other gamer to a buddy of mine. So, but yeah, the Toulon Atlanta is that's kind of my shape, like that heel style, and it might find its way in. It's a nice putter, man. Really nice
This is my
putter.
baby right now.
What we got there? Oh, the old TaylorMade.
The old Ardmore. It's like the
Yeah.
same shape as that 5.5. I don't know. I just love the shape.
Yeah.
It's like the half mallet, half blade kind of look. And
I used to use like the mallet, the old TaylorMade mallet, like the Ghost one. It was like the half.
yeah, like the
Thing.
huge
That's like,
one.
oh no, it was like the tiny
Oh.
one. It was like whatever, half the size of it. But that
Oh,
shape,
yeah.
I've always.
Bryce,
Yeah, it was like just smaller than that.
yeah, like I cannot roll this thing for the life of me.
The thing's heavy as shit,
No.
probably.
It's not that heavy. I think it's 335 or something, but I just can't roll it that well. I just like it just visually it looks good. I just like can't seem to get it, but it's not for me. But Keaton, we've taken up enough of your time. I know you got the bank calling you and stuff. I know you're working out a couple things while you're down there, so we won't take up too much of your time, but really appreciate you hopping on, man. Hopefully we can do it again, maybe at the end of the season or something. Catch up with you, see how things are going. It's always a lot of fun, and when Brycer's down there, you guys got to play. And when you come back up here, we'll tee it up. Maybe we can grab Mark.
They'll come down and beat the wheels off you.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
With
I'll put
11
your money-
with 11 shots.
11.
11. That's a lot of shots, man.
I don't know if I need 11, but at least
Holy
four.
I'll
Give me 4.
give you
No, give me
give you
6.
two.
3 aside.
I'll give you 2 aside. We can reevaluate after 9.
Deal.
That's a good deal. That's a pretty good deal.
I'll take that
I
one.
gotta try and get down there. Even I'll need more than that, but who knows?
Now whenever.
Yeah, it would be nice, man. I feel like this year of any, I am just not looking forward to the golf season ending. It's nice that it's been kind of extended up here, but like, I don't know. It was like an outlet this year for a lot of people, and yeah, it's just like
this bad boy.
Gotta get
this
down
thing
there.
Is never going anywhere. This is my bread and butter.
Look at that thing. It's like a little hot dog, man.
I will always go back to this thing. I don't know why. I love it.
But yeah, if you want to, sorry, go ahead, Keaton. Go ahead, man.
Those things are elite.
Yeah,
I wish. I want Nike, those blades. I was gonna try to buy a set, but they're so hard to find.
They're hard to find, and usually ones you do find are beat to shit. Like they're all beat up, like the faces.
I know.
You got to get a lot of work done. I saw like a lefty set the other day. Well, not the other day. It was a couple months ago, and I was trying to message the guy like right away. I think they were only up for like $500 Canadian too. And I was like, I don't care what shafts are in them. Like, I just wanted the heads, get them. I'd probably send them down and get them stripped and stuff like that, because they're kind of like unicorns, man. They're pretty sweet. So, and they were gone. Yeah. They were gone like right away.
Yeah,
like,
I had a set of Nike Tiger Woods like Victory Red blades in my hands, and there's a huge chunk out of the pitching wedge, so I didn't buy them. And I should have bought them.
Could have just went to a 4-wedge system, man.
I had them in my hands. Like, I played around with them. Like, my buddy had his hands on them somehow, and I played around with them, and I was like, I don't want them. This huge chunk out of this pitching wedge, and now I should have totally grabbed them.
Those are my first ever irons. Like, I was like or not my first set, but like when I got old enough to use proper clubs, I was like, oh, I love blades somehow. Like right after hockey, give me a set of blades. And I got like the OG like Nike blades, and I wish I still had them.
So clean.
Oh, I was a 16-year-old kid just swinging blades, thinking I was Tiger.
Just like a little dime-shaped sweet spot in them too, just like hurting the hands, beating up the hands. But if you guys want to go over and check out Keaton over on Instagram, Keaton, I'm not sure if you have a Twitter, but it's Keaton_V over on Instagram. We're gonna link it down below, so anybody who's same thing, listen in the car, YouTube, anything like that, if you want to go down, click the link, give him a follow, just kind of his journey, working towards getting to the PGA Tour. You're a pretty young guy still, Keaton, I guess. If you're, you said you're 99.
Yeah, I'm 23.
All right, so lots of time to make it happen, man. So we didn't really get into too much of like what your schedule is that you have kind of coming up for the season, but hopefully once you kind of wrap up and I don't know, maybe once we get into the golf season next year, we'll have you back. We can have a chat and kind of catch up. Really appreciate it, man.
For sure. Thank you, boys. It was awesome.
Is out in my ball in the course, so I tee up. I lose the ball and I re-up. I miss a fairway, I probably end up in the ocean or maybe the beach. And I'm on a par 5 and I'm finna go reach it. Second was blind, I ain't see it. Feel like it might be an albatross.